Good evening. Welcome. So glad to see y'all. Checking in to see if where I'm going is the way in which the inner light is guiding me to feel these connections every day. Then every day I'm being pulled by truth. And when I feel the obstacles of doubt and fear in me, I lift my heart and breathe in more of you. I'm coming after you, my joy, chasing after you, my love. Walking till I see the sun shine in these eyes. I'm coming after you, my joy, chasing after you, my love. Walking till I see the sun shine in these eyes. Moving through this mystery, it all can feel surreal until I take the time to listen. I'm listening to the one and making choices every day, and every day I'm being pulled by truth. And when I feel the obstacles of doubt and fear in me, I lift my heart and breathe in more of you. I'm coming after you, my joy, chasing after you, my love. Walking till I see the sun shine in these eyes. I'm coming after you, my joy, chasing after you, my love. Walking till I see the sun shine in these eyes. I'm coming after you, my joy, chasing after you, my love. Walking till I see the sun shine in these eyes. Ooh, 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 ooh. Ooh, 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 ooh. Ooh, 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 ooh. Ooh, 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 ooh.
Thank you, thank you. And Susan wrote that. It's so good to have Susan and Mark with us. Thank you, thank you. We welcome you this evening to Unity Spiritual Center of Portland, where we gather. And by the way, this is a working service. So if you don't have right now a clipboard or a board to write on and one of the packets, raise your hand and our ushers will get you one. Anybody not have one of the packets? Okay, we're doing good there. Thank you, thank you. I'm Reverend Lisa Davis. I'm part of this spiritual community as we come together and start looking at a larger way to live and a way to be a part of the transformation that's being requested on our planet right now. You know, Rumi, a 13th century mystic, said, "What you seek is seeking you." That which we seek, everything that we desire, is already desiring to move through us. It's the universal movement. It's that evolution of consciousness that is inviting us into a larger way. And tonight, we're going to spend some time looking at this past 2023, and we're going to then hold a space for 2024. And so it's a wonderful opportunity to just allow a movement of spirit, the infinite intelligence of the universe to move through us. We're going to begin in prayer. I am sure no one in here had a busy day, but just, usually we start in the morning and it's been a little more relaxing and you've had your coffee and your meditation and you're ready to go. Now it's at the end of the day. And I'm just going to invite you, wherever this day has been, wherever this week has been, if there's been busyness or movement, or you've wondered, who am I and how do I fit in with all that's happening, I just invite you to move into your heart space. One of the things that we know is that we're living in a time of transformation. We're living in a time where the old archetypes, the old ideas no longer serve us, and we're being asked to birth something larger. So I just invite you as we begin in prayer, and again, we're just opening up to the movement of the infinite intelligence of the universe that moves in and through and as every one of us. And so let's begin this service in prayer. And we just breathe in infinite spirit. We open to a realization and a remembering that we have been birthed of spirit, literally of the stars, and that we recognize this essence, this mystery of life that moves through us. We're connected, we're whole and infinite just as we are, and we are good and very good. And as we take in that breath and allow that realization and that remembering of being a whole creation of spirit to move into our bodies, and we say, yes, show me this evening what I am to let go of and what I am to take in. And we know that that perfect movement of spirit happens within our being during this sacred time, this window. And we say yes to that movement of love around the planet, recognizing that every being everywhere is a creation of this infinite intelligence. They are whole just as they are. And we hold a space for a cellular remembering of every being, that we are here to live in peace as one. And so it is. Amen. So it's wonderful to have you with us. I want to just talk for a moment about a couple things that are happening here at Unity of Portland. We do some of these special services, these sacred times, with the desire that every one of us has an opportunity to do some of the work, and we do it as a group. And so this evening after the service, we'd love for you to join us downstairs for just a little New Year's party. This year, we're doing it on Friday. I'm so grateful. We did not want anybody to have to work. Susan's smiling, because we don't have to do two services on New Year's Eve. Next year, we'll be back to doing it on New Year's Eve, but we aren't now. We'll do our regular Sunday service this coming Sunday, and then January 7th, we will do our white stone ceremony. And you will actually get a white stone from the Holy Land, and it is a meditation of saying, Spirit, what would you have me embody and birth and be named this year? So we'll have some fun with that. January 21st, our Martin Luther King service, LaRonda Steele and the Interfaith Gospel Choir and Karen Trusty will be here for a wonderful event. And then on the last Sunday in January, we have a speaker, Sherry Jameson, who spoke to the Unity ministers in June. It was a fabulous workshop, and she's doing how to healing your religious trauma. Now, I am sure there's nobody in this room that applies to, but she'll be doing this Sunday service, and she's doing a workshop afterwards. And it's just touching our toes into looking at what we may have been told that isn't true and isn't the truth of this larger understanding of the mystery of life, of you can call it God, but it's the quantum field that we live and move and have our being in. We have 2 upcoming classes. There's sign-ups in the entryway. You can sign up online also if you get our email list. There's a link there. I'll be doing one, and it's Radical Forgiveness. It'll be Tuesday evenings. It's hybrid, so you can watch it online or you can do it in person. And it is a 7-week class on, we didn't come to carry stuff around, to carry these weights. It's not the way we came to live, and there's a way and a method that can support us in that. So that'll be Tuesdays, and then Alan Watson will be teaching a class on Mary Magdalene, and that'll be Thursdays, and it starts 2 weeks later. So I just invite you to look at that. If you're new to this community, we want to welcome you wherever you are in your spiritual path. Please know that you are welcome here. We recognize all of us are spiritual beings having a hilariously human experience right now. So if you are willing to, I would invite you to raise your hand. Our ushers have a guest packet for you. Anybody here for the first time or you haven't been here in a long time, I just invite you to raise your hand and they will bring you a packet. So we will get those to you. What we know as we look at these ideas is that every one of us is learning. And we're learning both individually, collectively, and we're also learning globally. And we're being asked to move into a larger mindset and a larger knowing. So if anybody else need a packet, if you aren't getting our email list, if you're not getting our emails on Wednesdays, then you probably aren't on our mailing list. Susie, we have somebody over here too. We have, then you probably aren't getting our emails and you aren't on our list. There is a green card in the seat in front of you. There's also one on the back of that packet that you can fill out, turn in with our offering, or just bring it up to Beth or any of the staff here, and we'll put you on that list so you can get some of the information of what's happening. If this community works for you, I would encourage you to become a part. One of the things we're finding right now is that a lot of the evolution we're being called to do is done in relationship. It's done in connection. We're being called to find a place of connection that we may not have found for a while. And so if it works for you, I'd encourage you to become a part, because that's what we're doing. We're looking at how do we connect and how do we evolve. If it doesn't work for you, I would encourage you to keep looking and find a place that says, aha, that's who I am, and I want to gather with those people and move forward. Okay, we are going to, where are we going here? I'm trying to find a list of what's, we are singing. We're doing a congregational song. That's what we're doing. You move the order of service, and I have to look for it. Okay, I just invite you to stand, and we're going to do We Let It Be.
We let the love wash over us. We let it be. We let the love wash over.
Oh, yes, we do. And I just invite you to turn to those around you with a welcome, with a handshake, with a namaste, and just realize we journey together. It is wonderful to have you all here. So this is our, well,
How you doing, man?
maybe, we'll see.
Good. Your student's back.
This is our annual New Year's Eve service. It's our intention service, and it's our burning pole. And I didn't know anybody spent New Year's Eve any way other than doing this for my whole life. This is what I thought people did on New Year's Eve. Of course you have to burn things. Of course you have to write down what you released. That was just part of what in my family was the norm. But I want to talk about it because I love this time in between Christmas and New Year's. We have this, it's kind of like it's a doorway. It's an opportunity to take some moments and to get conscious and to just look at what we're doing. So, you know, tonight, I do believe it's a celebration. And you might, by the way, there are Kleenexes in front of you in the backs of all of the chairs because it is a working service. And I want to explain the packets that you got tonight. First of all, we are not burning these. I had a couple people mention they wondered what we were doing. These actually replaced the old songbooks. And so for years we had songbooks under there, and the only thing we used them for was people to bear down on and write on during this service. So someone made us these, and we let the hymnals go. But anyway, that's just to write on. What you have is a packet. And I'm going to go through it, and then I will tell you as we go. And if you have any questions, just ask. Don't worry. We're here just to enjoy it. So the first part of the service is going to be about listening, and we're going to get quiet, and it is going to be a meditative process, and we will actually use the white piece of paper. So you have a white piece of paper, and you should have, eventually we will write what we want to let go of, to be burnt on this piece of paper. But the first thing we're going to do is some journaling. We could probably all write what we want to let go of right now, but when we get quiet and we listen, a lot of times there's other things that are coming up. And there's some major things that are happening on our planet, and we're being asked to be the agents of change, to be the ones who are willing to find ways to navigate through this. And you may think, oh, it's just an event that happened in my life, or it's just this that happened to me. These are transformational happenings that our soul said yes to. And so some of it is just getting really clear on what we want to let go of. Then the rest of it will be for the second half of the service, and we'll actually write our intentions on the blue paper. We will address the envelope to ourselves, and we will collect them, and you will get them back next October or November. How many of you in here got your envelopes back? Okay, some of us did. We got them back, and you get to see what that is. There's also a 3x5 card. If something comes to you and your heart says, I need to have this with me all year, write it down on there. It might be something that you're letting go of. It might be something, although usually it's some intention or some idea. It's like, wait a minute, this is for me. And I just tuck it on my mirror and look at it during the year as a reminder. So the second part of the service is the letting go, and we will actually burn the paper, and we'll go through that. The ushers will release you row by row when we write it, and we'll burn it, and you don't have to watch it burn. All you need to do is light it and drop it in, and the universe takes care of that letting go. And then we're going to set our intentions for the New Year's, and we'll talk about how do we hold a larger picture and a larger idea, and listening is what we're going to be doing a lot of, because we might think in our mind, I know just what I need, I know just what to do, but the truth is there's a soul shifting that is happening and going on. And I'm just, Rumi said, why do you stay in prison when the door is so wide open? Why do you stay in prison when the door is so wide open? The universe, right now, we have been born into absolutely transformational times. Everything I read as I'm moving through it, and a friend gave it the not yet God. And it's all about the fact that what we are doing right now is we are transforming an archetype. And that this God that is so small and is judging and is up in the sky and made after our image, that's no longer accurate. Now, many of us in here we left churches because of that idea that there was something more, that there was an energy and a God and a light and a essence, and we're a part of that. And so everything that happens in our lives is it's the universe saying, oh yes, you signed up for this body at this time to shift this, and here's the avenue. And we can think, oh no, that happened to me. And so we're gonna really work on some of this and say, what is it that we are to do and where do we go? And so for right now, I just invite you to get the white sheet of paper and your board and a pen. There should be a pen in the seat in front of you. If you don't have one, raise your hand and we'll make sure you get one. You can look around you too if there isn't one there. Is this right? Okay, good. I'm not off. All right. And we're going to I'm going to talk for a little bit and then we'll go into a meditation. And we're going to get quiet. And so if you don't have anything to write, I just invite you to stay in that meditation, to stay in that quiet. There's a cellular remembering that happens when we open ourselves to the universe moving through. And so Ajahn Chah, the great Thai Buddhist teacher, said, if you let go a little, you will have a little happiness. If you let go a lot, you will have a lot of happiness. If you let go completely, you will be completely happy. And so we're going to prepare for meditation. As the music plays, I just invite you to flow with it, to quiet your mind, to begin relaxing your body. There's a sacredness in writing and in reviewing and remembering this year, 2023. And so this is a time of inner silence. And I just invite you to breathe. For eons, people have been using the sacred cycle of the breath for eternity to take them in, to get quiet. Having our pen and our paper handy, we just continue to say, here I am, infinite spirit. We feel the breath flowing through us. And we let all of the tension flow from our bodies. We let go of the outer thoughts. And if there's more to relax into, allow the chair to hold you. And the now of our lives, this sacred time, it could be a month, 2 months, a year, it could be a decade. But the now of our lives is much more than a moment. It's a unit of time. It's elastic. It's just what has been in this time. And as I ask these questions, I invite you to allow yourself to sink into them. What have been the main characteristics, the feelings underlying this recent period of your life journey? As ideas come to you, perceptions, words, just write them down, not getting caught up in them, just jotting them down. What have been the main characteristics of this recent period of my life? Has it felt peaceful or chaotic? What have been the characteristics, the qualities of your life? When you're done, I just invite you to just return to the stillness, to that sacred space, honoring the journey you're on, and stilling our thoughts and closing our eyes again. Let's feel the movement of our lives. We're moving in and honoring the journey, this life experience. Because we don't really think our life, we feel it. And we look at the feelings of this time. We're not directing our thoughts, but quietly, ever more quietly, our thoughts and feelings flow. And we just spend some time recalling the major events during this time period, whether it's 2023, this time of your life. What are the events? And just jotting them down. They may have been positive, they may have been negative. We may have felt anger or hurt or peace or love. But just beginning to jot down, have we felt alone? Have we felt blessed with relationship? Have we lost a loved one? Have we continued to grieve? But just writing down the main events of this time period of our lives. And now, listening again in that inward stillness, I invite you to make a list of adjectives describing feelings during this time. I felt secure, hurt, loved, lonely. List whatever feelings come up. As we look back on 2023 and this year that's coming to a close, we also get to say, I don't want to bring stuff into the new year. And so we begin saying, what are the experiences that I don't want to take with me? Are there limitations or disappointments or struggles that it's just time to release? Time for us to let go of. What do you want to forgive about this year? Forgiveness is always a choice. And sometimes we just don't make that choice. But we always, at any moment, can say, now it's time. What about this year? Is it time to forgive? Or things from your past that today it's time to forgive? Are there people, situations, what moments do you need to forgive? What are the mistakes that you've made that you're willing to forgive yourself for? Realizing we don't have to carry any of it into the new year. And as you sit and take a deep breath, is there anything else asking to be heard, to be noticed, to be felt, or let go of? And as we become willing to be willing to let go to a higher story, I just invite you to take that piece of tracing paper and write down what you truly are ready to let go of. It may be things you've journaled about. It may be something totally different, but just write out the pieces. What do you not need to carry into the new year? Is it time to let go of unworthiness or a lack of trust? What is it that you're being called to let go of? And again, just asking yourself, is there something more? And in just a moment, we're going to do the ritual. And a ritual is an opportunity for ceremony and to stay in that moment. And so as you come up, and the ushers will release you from the back, will come up the front. You'll light, there's 2 bowls, and there's 2 candles here. And I don't know if you're aware, but at every Unity service, there's always 1 candle. And we call it the Christ candle. We call it, to us, the Christ is the pattern of the divine that's in every human being, everywhere. It's not something that was someone's last name. The term actually means anointed one, and throughout history, in the part of the world that Jesus was from, there were many beings who were called Christ at different times because they had higher ideas and they saw a larger picture. And so as you come up, I'm just going to invite you to do it in the silence and holding a space of truly letting go of that which you may have carried throughout this year or a lifetime. But it's the opportunity to let it go. And so as our ushers release you from, and so you'll come up here and go back on the outside, I just invite you to light this paper and just drop it in, trusting that this outer movement is an inner invitation for spirit to move through us.
I am dropping down to the truth of who I am. I am dropping down, surrendering in love. I am dropping down to the truth of who I am. I am dropping down, surrendering truth of who I am. I am dropping down, surrendering in love. I am dropping down to the truth of who I am. I am dropping down, surrendering in love. I am dropping down to the truth of who I am. I am dropping down, surrendering in love, surrendering in love, surrendering in love, surrendering in love. I am dropping down to the truth of who I am. I am dropping down, surrendering in love. I am dropping down to the truth of who I am. I am dropping down, surrendering in love. I am dropping down to the truth of who I am. I am dropping down, surrendering in love, surrendering in love, surrendering in love, surrendering in love. If you'd like to sing with us, I think you know the words. I am dropping down to the truth of who I am. I am dropping down, surrendering, surrendering in love. I am dropping down to the truth of who I am. I am dropping down, surrendering in love. I am dropping down to the truth of who I am. I am dropping down, surrendering in love, surrendering in love, surrendering in love. I am dropping down, surrendering in love, surrendering in love. Whenever I have hurt in my heart, I ask, what would love do? Whenever I don't know where to turn, I ask, what would love do? Whenever I don't know what to say, I ask, what would love do? What would love do? Anytime that I'm stuck in my pain, I ask, what would love do? Anytime that I feel ashamed, I ask, what would love do? Anytime that I can't find my truth, I ask, what would love do? What would love do? Love has all the answers. Love makes no demands. Love will lead me to the truth and help me to understand that life is all about love. When I have something hard I need to say, I ask, what would love do? When it seems another block is in my way, I ask, what would love do? When it seems I can't face another day, I ask, what would love do? What would love do? Oh, what would love do? Love has all the answers. Love makes no demands. Love will lead me to the truth and help me to understand that life is all about love. What would love do? When I am feeling limitations, I have to ask, what would love do? I need to look into my soul and ask, what would love do? What would love do? What would love do? What would love do? What would love do?
Thank you, thank you. What would love do? Wow, what a blessing. I'm so grateful that all of you were able to participate in this idea of letting go. And now we're going to celebrate a little bit and say, what would we like to let in? What would we like to remember and allow ourselves to embody in this coming year, this 2024? We're at a doorway. And you might think, oh, the same person that came in today is leaving. But the truth is that the universe is always seeking to move through us. It's always desiring to show us more of who we were. And some part of your life or your world may have, you may have been told, well, you're not enough. I mean, I have a feeling a few of us in here heard we were sinners growing up, or we were this, or we were this, or we were this. What I know is that every one of us is divine creations of spirit. And of course, the word sin means missing the mark. And so if by any chance you ever took in anything other than, that you were less than whole, now we can let that one go and say, what would I like to breathe in? And by the way, when it means missing the mark, it's an archery term. That's all it is. It is where you throw it and you don't hit the target the first time. You pull it out and you do it again. So if you've ever been told any of those things, what's wonderful, I believe, is that we get to look again. This afternoon, it was so wonderful that Mark brought this book over, and of course I started reading it immediately because I've been trying to hold a space to articulate the time we're going through, because we come so often here thinking, I have a year ahead of me. How can I shift? Have you noticed that it's less about what we can do individually because of all that's happening around us in the country and the world and democracy or not democracy and all of the fear and the thoughts and the people leaving the planet. And we are in this place of a transformation of consciousness. And she talks about it in a way using Carl Jung and Pierre Teilhard de Chardin's theories and Albert Einstein's. And basically they said, we've been in this movement and we have outgrown the view of God that humanity has. And I don't know about you, but I think we outgrew that a long time ago because it wasn't real. But that literally now we have to find something larger. And I just want to put a little of these pieces. First of all, the word God, I was fascinated to see they've taken it back further than the word that was translated in Aramaic was actually a Sanskrit word, and it means light or blessing. And I thought, wow, what would happen if we grew up with the idea that the essence of light is what created us, that the essence of light is what's present and available and moving and amplifying. And basically, they said when Albert Einstein proposed the theory of relativity in 1905, the world of physics was shocked to the core, and basically, we came to the place of realizing that what we thought was beyond us is in us. And they're talking about God and that which created us. And that literally we right now are charged with holding a different picture and a different story and a different understanding for humanity. And that this old myth has to fall away. And whenever, yes, anybody ready to let go of a God that judges or a God? We might have been told some of this as we were growing up, and we fell prey to it. You might have been told, well, because of your sexual preference, or because you did this, or you got divorced, or you had an abortion, or you did this or this or this, you're no longer that. The truth is there's no choice. And that God, they say, is both, and this is physics, it's both within us and around us. It's larger than us and it's within us. And so our movement as humanity is literally, we're being charged with being the ones who bring it forth. And we bring it forth in the little ways in our lives. And so when we start looking at the idea of what do I want to carry with me into this next year, and what intentions do I want to hold, and I want to remind you that groups have been holding intentions for thousands and thousands of years. They didn't have that word, but this idea of gathering to hold a space for the new year. And some of them were written down on tablets and on different things. They can show how that's done. And our ability to be a part of that holds something so much larger. And so as we move into this idea, we recognize that there's so much more in us. And by the way, the Hebrew word for create means to bring into relationship. And so when you go back to Genesis and we talk about creation, it's bringing into relationship. Anybody been called to be in a relationship to themselves, to those around them? It's like this pull to connect. And that's the truth of who we are. And so now we get to say, in my world, what am I willing to hold? What am I willing to look at and say, the universe knows what we need before we ever need it. And it is always supporting our journey. So what if the path we've been on is sacred just as it is, And it holds everything we need as we move into this new year to say, I'm willing to breathe in the good that created me, the love that holds me, and the realization that I'm here to birth a new idea, a larger understanding, not just for myself, although that's part of it, because we get to look at our lives and say, what would I like to hold? We know that in quantum physics, the belief of the observer has the effect of, it's like you kind of, it's set jello. You make it into what it is by our thoughts. What's fascinating is that happens collectively also. And so we're being asked to become a people who can no longer commit violence, live in violence. If it's upsetting you, that means you're right where you need to be, because that's where we're moving. So inviting in a larger understanding and beginning to say, I am willing to grow. There's a growth principle that is present in every atom of the universe, and it's present in your being and in your heart. And you may have said, but this happened, and this happened, and this happened. And all I can say is absolutely it did. And it's everything you need to take into the new year to birth the next step, the next place, where we're going, what we're doing, and how we're doing it. Carolyn May says there's 3 ways we know God. We know God as light, the creative essence of the universe, and anytime we allow it into our mind, it creates. We know God as law. That is the steady way that God shows up. Spirit, light shows up. It works by principle. It's the consistency of that essence. And we know God as love. And what's fascinating is that's relationship. That's the relationship we have with ourselves, and that's the relationship we have with others. And we're being asked to move into a time where we find a larger story, which means it's not a world that if you do that, I attack. If you do this, I do this. As Gandhi said, an eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth will make us all, blind and toothless. And we've come to a place where we're just realizing there's so much more. Desmond Tutu said, do your little bit of good where you are. It's those little bits of good put together that transform the world. And so right now, we get to start asking, what would I like to hold? What visions do I have? All of the answers we seek on the planet are already available in that quantum field. They're seeking a channel to express through. And your little part of the world is one of those channels. And all of what's led you to this place is another little channel that says, I'm here to push out here. I'm here to hold a belief about this and hold a belief about that. I believe I'm worthy. I believe I've come to be a blessing on the planet. I am more than this. I'm here to share with another that they're whole and complete. I'm here to love where in the past I've been afraid. And so what do? Rumi said, everyone has been made for some particular work, and the desire for that work has already been put in every heart. So I'm just going to invite you to ask yourself, what intentions would I like to hold for this year? What would I like to bring? What would I like to see? You can take out the blue card, or the paper, and you can start looking at those intentions and say, what are some ideas that I may not have contemplated up until now? What are some things I'd like to carry with me that I've been working on and opening to? Rumi also said, don't be satisfied with stories, how things have gone with others. Unfold your own myth. Unfold your own myth. The world loves us. This universe loves you just as you are right now. The light, the Spirit, the love, it loves you. It is the energy of love, and it expresses in every part of the field. And that's you and I, and it's larger than the field also. So it's within and it's around, it's larger than. So I just invite you to start saying, Spirit, what would you have me know? What would you have me dream or dare? Is there a new way of your life that's calling to you, a new way of knowing yourself, or of you thought, oh, this always has to be this way? Is there something you're willing to go larger with? Think of something that you haven't been willing to allow into your heart. And if you're finishing up, I would invite you, if there's anything you'd like to take home, ideas, I am statements that you'd like to put on the 3x5 card, I invite you to do that. And you can address the envelope to yourself. We'll put a return label on it. We actually keep them up in my office and we bless them during the year as we go throughout these months and hold a sacred space. You can, when you're ready, you can put your letter in it, your intentions. The invitation to know ourselves as an aspect of the divine is increasing. I realize it's amplifying and asking to be amplified within our hearts and our beings. And I just invite you to take a couple more minutes to finish up if you haven't. And put in your envelope, your letter in your envelope, addressing it. We're gonna, when you're ready, you can send them to the inside of the aisles. And we have a basket back there that we'll collect them with. As we hold that sacred intention for 2024 to be light, to be an experience of connection and light and love and presence and power in the midst of all the movement and the stuff and the transformation that we're being called to creates its own form of stress and chaos because it's an evolutionary driver. And yet, being willing to surf and to move through those movements as we come into this new year and recognizing that every moment we have the choice to love. We have the choice to touch another in love and as love. Anybody else have their envelopes? You can send them over if you still have them, and good. We'll come down and get those. And we have an opportunity to hold for this new year. Are you able to send them down? Why don't we pass them down if you can? And we'll get them down there. So we've done a lot of work this evening. And we have looked at, this is our working service. It's the longest service we do, but it's one where we really want to do the work because we have 2 days until New Year's. And I'd invite you to stay in that mode of just saying, Spirit, what would you have me embody? What would you have me know? What would you have me love about who I am and the path I'm on and the space that I'm called to inhabit right now? And how am I to know something more? Because there's no mistakes. None of us, we are all designed to be in this room at this time, whether you're in this space or you're watching us online. We're all designed to be a part of humanity at this time, in this movement, in this consciousness that continues to rise. And we're all called to experience the joy that is available as we recognize I'm loved, I'm a part of a whole, I belong to this time of humanity. And so in just a moment, we're going to receive our tithes and our love offerings, our gifts. I believe that we're creating, it's an investment in the community and in the ability to share ideas and to gather in them and to hold that space. And so our ushers will do that. We have maybe we don't. If you would like to know how to give, there are blue cards in the seats in front of you that can share some of the ways. You can do it on your phone. There's a number you can text. You can do it, of course, with a check, with cash, on our website. All of that's on that blue card. What we know, and I just invite you to hold your gifts or the thoughts of what you're sharing. I would invite you to remember that as we birth these new concepts, we haven't even begun to understand what happens when humanity works together to keep an idea and hold an idea of every being being a part of the divine. Every being having the ability to love and be loved and to be accepted and honored and respected. And so as we hold our gifts and we make the investment here, I just invite you to continue holding a concept for a world that is being born. And it's an interesting journey, and yet it's all a part of love. So we're going to say our blessing. Divine love as me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. And so it is. Thank you, thank you.
Another year is dawning. Oh, Spirit, let it be. Another year of service, of faithfulness and grace. Another year of learning. Another year of praise. Another year of trusting, of quiet, happy rest. And now please join us. Should old acquaintance be forgot and never brought to mind? Should old acquaintance be forgot and days of all anxiety? And here's ahead, my trusty friend, and give a hand of thine. We'll take a cup of kindness yet for all anxiety. For all cup of kindness yet for days of all anxiety.
And I just invite you to look around the room and recognize we walk together. You're loved just as you are. You're important. All of us come together to recognize that in each other and to begin to see the divine in the eyes, in the smiles, in the tears, in the parts of who we are and who we're learning to be and all that we're called to be. It's all a part of coming together and recognizing we're so much more. And let's do that one more time.
Should old acquaintance be forgot and never brought to mind? Should old acquaintance be forgot and days of all anxiety? And here's a hand, my trusty friend, and give a hand of thine. We'll take a cup of kindness yet for all anxiety.
We just say, have a love-filled evening, a love-filled year in 2024. Blessings. Blessings, blessings. That's wonderful. Thank you. And my greatest gift is the opportunity to walk with each of you. I invite you downstairs to just celebrate a little bit.